And all right, first several breaths, any position that allows you to tune into your breath. Then we'll be moving into some seated postures. So if you want to start out sitting, do what you need to do to get comfortable. I'll take a couple breaths for clearing. Take a slow, full breath in. Feel it expand your belly, your ribs, and lift your chest. Release it out your nose or your mouth until it's gone. Again, exaggerate the next breath in, balloon the belly, flare the ribs, chest rises, spine lengthens, and let it go. One more time, huge breath in, filling up belly, ribs, chest. And once you're at capacity, pause. Suspend the breath, tall spine, chin down, plug your tailbone, sitting bone, and pubic bone down. If there's room for more breath, lift your chin, take a sip, and then plug it back in. And let it go. If your nose is clear enough to breathe, resume breathing in and out of nose. If nose is stuffy, breathe any way you can. And at any point in practice, you feel a little excess energy, whether that shows up as tension in the body or the mind starting to act up. Feel free to use that release valve of sighing out the mouth. The sound will bring you back to the present. And you're literally releasing pressure. Let's start to cultivate our optimal diaphragmatic breathing. Focus your inhale breath down to the back bottom ribs, the back bottom of the lungs. Ribs will flare out and relax your low belly out. Exhale, hug the low abdominals in. Continue that practice, filling into the back bottom ribs, releasing your low belly when you're full, and engaging low abdominals as you press the air out. A few breaths like that. We'll continue to breathe like that. If you're cross-legged, change the cross of your legs. Or if you're sitting any other way, feel free to adjust the way you're sitting as we move from upper body posture to upper body posture. Make sure spine is comfortable. And frequent seat changes are good. The body's not meant to be still for very long. I know yoga seems to defy that. We practice. Both hands on your heart, one on top of the other. Breathe into the back bottom ribs and twist to your right. Relax your low belly out. Exhale, draw the low abdominals in to pull you back to center. Inhale, inflate back bottom ribs, twist left. Exhale, find low abdominals, center. Continue like that. Inhale into a twist, ballooning, fanning out your back ribs. Supple action of low abdominals, not so much a tightening, but a pulsing. Spinal twist repetitions. Drop the chin just a little bit, retract it towards throat. Head will try to lead in the twist. I want you to feel for the twist happening around that back or the bottom of the rib cage area. We're literally milking the obliques, working the tension out of them. Once you complete the round you're on, go to each side one more time. When your rounds are complete, relax your hands, straighten your legs out. Feel free to give yourself a little leg massage, maybe circle the kneecaps or shake the legs, especially if they were bent for this whole time. Let the blood rush back down to the feet. Seated hip opener, soles of the feet together in Baddha Konasana or cross-legged seat is fine for this. Pick your right thigh up, just enough that you can feel for massaging the muscles around the right hip thigh, away from hip. Just loosening things up there. As if you could get the bone to unlock from the hip. And then once you've got a sense that things are just a bit juicier, put your right thigh down. Put your right hand in the middle of your right thigh. Lean on your left hand directly to the side of your hip. Inhale, traction your right thigh bone out. Lean your ribs over to left arm. Exhale, continue to traction out. Press soles of feet together. Plug pubic bone down to the mat. Feel for the traction in right hip. Send your breath there. And either stay as you are or optional, exhale, turn your chest down to the left knee, release your neck. Keep your neck relaxed as you walk your hands back to center. Pick your left thigh up. Again, you can get the muscles off the thigh bone to soften a bit, to let go their grip. Feel, I like to imagine I'm unscrewing my thigh from my hip. And then set your thigh down, put your left palm on your thigh, right hand out to the side. Inhale, lengthen the right ribs towards the right arm. Exhale, massage your left thigh out and down. Lock the soles of the feet together. Spread the toes apart. Now that might be plenty to explore with your breath in this simple shape here. Or if you want to add a torque, use your inhale to expand the ribs off your pelvis. And exhale, turn chest down to right thigh. Relax neck and jaw. Keep your neck relaxed. Engage your low belly to pull you back to center and straighten your legs out. I'll offer different seated options, excuse me, for the shoulder work we're going into. You could always choose your own option, including sitting up on your bed or your chair, so you can still breathe fully through the whole length of the body. Option to sit into an easy straddle. Legs not so wide. If you open your legs wide and you feel your tail tuck under, then either don't open the legs so wide, or also make more blankets, make a higher seat for yourself. So you can get off the tailbone, plug pubic bone down, and then breathe the back bottom ribs out to lift out of low back. So if it feels like your tail's lifting up, that's right, but no crunching in low back. All right, flex the feet and point the feet, and flex the feet and point the feet, flex the feet, activate the feet, keep the toes flexed, press the balls of the feet out. Now, if this is not a comfortable position for you to do shoulder work, choose another shape. We'll meet with right arm forward, bend the right elbow, left palm against your right inner elbow, unlocking the shoulder. Send breath into right shoulder, right upper back. Exhale, slide your shoulder blade down away from your ear. Gently press elbow into hand and resist with your palm. So maybe you feel the chest and back muscles around your shoulder firming up, and the shoulder can start to unwind. Now you might choose to stay in the shape, or if you've never had a dislocation, your shoulder's healthy, take hold of your right biceps. Send breath into the right shoulder socket. Exhale, peel the right shoulder blade down and slide the arm bone forward. It's getting a little traction, not dislocating the joint, but making space. One more time, press palm into elbow, elbow into palm to stabilize. Send breath into the right shoulder, right side chest, right upper back. Exhale, shoulder down, elbow moves forward up into your hand. And for some of you, even moving the right wrist, hand out to the side while you keep the elbow in. Hello, external rotators. Relax your arm. Flex your feet and point your feet and flex and activate, or choose to change the way you're sitting. Bring right arm across your chest. Left hand comes to the right triceps and squeezes your arm in. Breathe into the right side of neck and upper back. Exhale, roll the right shoulder blade down like you're widening the right collarbone, and maybe even hang your head a little to the left. You can turn chin down to collarbone, or just move the head and experiment, feel for the areas of tension. And release the arm. One more piece in the sitting position, but you can change your mind at any point. Right arm out to the side. Turn the right thumb down. If already that action hurts the shoulder at all, you're not doing the next part. Either come back into this one or this one. If thumb down feels okay, wrap your right arm behind your back and catch it with your left hand. Relax the right shoulder completely, as if your left arm weren't holding it, it would just flop. And if there's no stretch, no pain, not much going on, then maybe on an exhale, you start to guide your hand up between your shoulder blades. Once you feel any tension build up, send breath into right shoulder. Exhale, release the shoulder, and maybe feel for opening the front of the shoulder, the head of the shoulder. Only if there's not too much pull there. And to release the right hand, I recommend letting it press against the small of the back. And once you're out of the pose, one arm might feel longer than the other, so we'll fix that. Option to sit in Baddha Konasana for side two. Again, variety of movements, so any position that calls to you works just fine. Left arm forward, bend the left elbow, place the right palm against your left inner elbow. Send breath into the left shoulder and the left side of your upper back. Exhale, drag shoulder blade down, move elbow forward, up into hand with like 20% of your strength. It's not a lot of effort, just enough to turn on. And I'll be honest, these muscles aren't the most, sometimes this really annoys me, but it has been very rehabilitative and protective of my shoulder. If your shoulder is healthy, no history of dislocation, take hold of your left upper arm bone. Lovingly hold the biceps, send breath into left shoulder. Exhale, shoulder blade down, and slide the arm bone forward. as if you could drain the shoulder. Maybe you feel for a softening around your eye or jaw. One more time, press palm into elbow, elbow into palm. Fill the left upper lung with your breath. Exhale, shoulder down, elbow into hand, and maybe the left hand moves out to the side without bending your wrist. External rotation from shoulder. Relax your arms. Left arm across the chest, hug it in with the right hand. Breathe the back ribs up and out, re-lengthen your spine. Exhale, roll the left shoulder down, and option to lean your head to the right. Remember, you can choose to stay here or return to the shoulder stabilizer. Or moving on to part 3, left arm out to the side. Exhale as you rotate thumb down. Make sure there's no tweakiness. If not, then wrap it behind your back, catch it with your right hand. And just letting the shoulder relax is plenty. You don't have to try to get anywhere. If it is interesting to you to start to guide the hand up. This is not like what they teach in the self-defense classes. This should not make you want to fight back, but relax. With the left hand, press against small of back as you unwind. Straighten your legs out. Let's come to a tabletop. Is everyone okay with being on hands and knees? We'll go into a micro twisting quadruped. If I see you guys get uncomfortable hands and knees and you sit down, I'll give you an alternative posture. Tabletop, hands maybe a little wider than the shoulders. Give your shoulders some space to fill up with breath. Rotate, if this is okay on shoulder, the eye of the elbow forward. Keep the nose pointing down. Breathe the low back ribs up off the low back. Exhale, tip the top rim of the sacrum down just a bit. That's the top edge of your pelvis. Dips in so you have a natural curve in lumbar back, but your lumbar spine. Ribs and belly are still engaged, not popping out. We'll try to maintain that as best as possible. Breathe into the low back ribs. Turn your chest to the right and float the right hand off the earth an inch. Relax your low belly. Exhale, pull low belly in, float the left knee off the earth 1 inch. Hand down, knee down. Neutral spine. Inhale, back bottom ribs. Turn to the left, left hand rises, left arm is straight. It's a tiny movement. Exhale, pull low belly in, right knee floats. If floating the knee hurts hips or low back, skip the legs, just do the arms. Center, inhale, turn to the right. Relax low belly. Exhale, use low belly to float left knee up. Soften your neck, center. Inflate back bottom ribs, turn left, left hand rises. Exhale, use your low belly, float the right knee up. Do each side one more time on your own. And if you find that one side is way less stable or less successful than the other, do that side one more time. If you feel complete, you can either rest in child's pose or come down onto your elbows for cat's cows or free form movement. That's great. We'll move into Dolphin Prelude next. Down on your elbows, wrap your hands around your upper arms halfway between the elbow and shoulder to measure your elbow width. That should line up the elbows right under shoulder joint. Keep them there. Clasp the hands in front of you. Your tail will stay high in the air. Walk your knees back 2 inches, out to the sides another inch, and rest your head down on the mat. And some bodies like to relax completely into the shape, allowing the spine to hang and belly to blow out. And if that feels great to you, the spine never gets to be in this position, so do it. For a lot of us, though, whether it's your low back or your neck, reaching back through the tailbone, the sacrum, pulling your low belly in will take some pressure off the neck and decompress the spine. So you can play with turning it on or letting it go as much as you like. And then optional, leave the elbows where they are and lift your hands off the mat, pointing knuckles maybe all the way up to the ceiling, maybe halfway between. That'll add some lines of tension across your upper back. Send your breath into those areas of tension. And exhale. Feel for a softening between your shoulder blades and around your neck. 2 more breaths like that. If your hands are up, lower them back down. Keep your gaze towards your navel as you shift your weight forward so your head floats off the earth. And you can either keep the hands as they are. Keep the hands as they are. Let's keep it simple. Reneutralize your spine. Press the ground away to lift out of shoulders. Lengthen the tail back and then stretch left leg back. Press through the heel for an Achilles stretch and for a whole back of the leg stretch. Hang your head and neck. Keep pressing into the earth with your forearms so your head is floating. And pull your belly in. Set the left knee down and stretch right leg back. So it's a little bit like a gentle half dolphin for those of you who practice that pose. The lengthening of the back of the leg, the lift out of the shoulders, and the most advanced part, the relaxed neck. Right. Set your knee down. Come on down to your back. Once you're lying on your back, take a moment to settle in, whether that means taking a little shavasana, hugging your knees in and rocking on your mat, circling the knees. Get some breath into the back body. Let the ground beneath you massage your back, between shoulders, around your hips. All right, let's do a joyful abdominal exercise. Set your feet on the floor with active feet. So your feet are on the floor, but lift and spread the toes so there's energy in your feet. If that's okay on your toes, sprained toes, do what's right for your body. All right. I feel a little silly teaching this abdominal exercise, but it's really fun. So keeping the head relaxed for part 1. Point your hands up to the sky, just rest the elbows on the ground next to you. Imagine there's a big old rope dangling above your chest. Take an inhale breath. Breathe into the back body, press it into the mat. As you breathe out, pull your belly to your spine and start to climb your hands up the rope. So your shoulders rise, but your belly pulls down. When it's time to breathe in, relax the elbows back down to the ground. Breathe the low back and the waist flat into the mat. Exhale, pull your belly in and climb the rope. If you need to see, I'll keep going. We'll take a couple rounds like that. Inhaling to reset, arms down, breathing the back body into mat. Exhale, navel to spine, spine into mat, climb rope. Inhale. Exhale, press low back down, pull your belly in, climb rope. Now that pumping of the belly, no one's pregnant, right? I didn't check that. This should be fine. The gentle movement of belly is fine. If you're pregnant, you won't move on. Some of you want to move on. Next time you breathe in, press low back down. And when you breathe out and climb the rope, tuck your chin in. You can look at the rope and lift your head off the mat. Then inhale to lie down, reset. Exhale, pull navel to spine to earth to climb the rope. Yes, this is getting less gentle, so if you want to stay with the gentle variation, please do. Or if you want a little bit more action, pick your feet off the floor, knees over hips. Inhale. Exhale, tuck chin, climb rope. And then see if you can get more and more of your shoulders and spine off the floor as you climb. It's okay if your legs have to kick just a little bit, but try to keep shins parallel to the earth so there's no thrashing. All right, adding one more piece. If you're in a place to do this, you'll breathe in, press low back down, and when you breathe out to climb the rope, you'll start laughing and then notice what your body does. So if you weren't sure that laughing's good for your abdominals, it might be surprising how strong that is. And if you start laughing tomorrow, you will remember me. Your belly might ache. All right, do 3 more rounds, any variation you please. And if you haven't laughed in a while, fake it. Remember, let your body remember what that feels like. When you are complete, hug your knees into your chest. Press your feet down to the mat. Scoot your hips over to the right edge of your mat. And then pick your knees up, drop them to the left, or any other expression twist. Right arm can stay to the right. If that's tweaky for shoulder, then put your right hand on your hip or your ribs. And drops to the right. That feels like it tightens at the sky, or even look to the left. To come back onto your back, you might want to bring your right arm across into a fetal curve and then roll onto your back in one piece. Scoot your hips over to the left. Drop your knees to the right or mirror what you did on side one if that's an option. Left and right probably feel very different from each other. So modify the shape so you can relax on this side. And keep rolling onto your side to come to all fours. Let's transition into a runner's lunge. Step your right foot up between your hands. If you want to grab your yoga blocks for hands on blocks, do that. Tuck the back toes, straighten the back knee. Hips, I'm not concerned with how low your hips drop. They might be pretty high, so you can lengthen your spine out of your hips. Nose points at the ground, but you can turn the eyeballs forward to feel for extending spine. And reach your tail towards your back inner ankle. Other side, maybe you step the left foot forward and fold, or if you want to step back into a tabletop or down dog, go for it. Left foot forward, runner's lunge. Knee stays over the ankle for this expression of lunge. Feel for left sitting bone dropping down. The right hip flexors being drawn back. Scoop your belly button up. Find your way down onto your belly. Quarter boat. Lie in your belly, fold your hands, rest your forehead on your hands. If you're looking at me, my head's up because of the microphone, but you rest your head down. All right, send breath into your back bottom ribs. Lift them off kidneys. Exhale, curl pubic bone down to the mat and start to extend the right thigh back from the hip. Again, that unscrewing sensation, maybe the right inner thigh turns in towards the left a little bit. And if your foot lifts up, activate it. Deceiving or release any clenching in the buttocks. Instead, feel for lengthening the thigh bone from the hip. So it's out, not so much up. Relax the left leg as much as possible. Curl your pelvis into mat. Take one more breath. Exhale, relax the right leg down completely. Fill the back bottom lungs with breath. Exhale, curl pubic bone down to mat and start to slide left thigh back from hip. The movement is less important than feeling for the breath starting to get into the hip itself, into the hip flexors. So if it takes a moment to respond, that's fine. We don't actually want our legs to go anywhere. Curl pubic bone to mat. Exhale, relax leg completely. Come into a Sphinx shape. Prop yourself up on your elbows. Breathe back, bottom ribs out. Exhale, curl pubic bone into mat and pull on the mat with your hands. Feel for elongating the rib cage away from the hips. So rather than pushing back into a back bend, back traction. Belly can stay in as you draw yourself forward. One more breath. Exhale, ease the shoulders back. And rest down on your hands. Take a moment to simply rest in this belly down Shavasana, or if it's right for your back body, you can bend your knees and do a little swoosh, swoosh, side to side. We'll meet in lunge, right foot forward. Breathe as you feel into a way to transition. That doesn't create tension in your neck or jaw or shoulders. If possible, for this variation, back knee is down. Feel free to add extra padding under the kneecap. Let's move right into twisting lunge. Left hand over to the edge of your mat or even on the floor off your mat. Right hand on your sacrum if that's okay for shoulder. To send sacrum, massage it down towards back heel. If that hurts shoulder, keep your right hand on your thigh. Right sitting bone pointing down to the ground. But if you sway a little to the left and that feels nice for the left side body, for this variation, that's fine. Even sinking into left shoulder if your shoulder's happy about it. Maybe your head rests on it. Exhale, set your right hand down. Half splits, simply straightening the right leg into a hamstring stretch. So it might not have to straighten all the way to find hamstrings. Send 3 breaths into the back of your leg, right hip and low back. Inhale, bend right knee. Again, choice of transition. Maybe you step the left foot forward and fold over your legs. Or maybe you step the right foot back into tabletop. Or stretch it out in down dog. Lunge, right leg back. Knee down. If even padding's not enough for knee, of course it's fine to leave your knee up. Right hand to edge of mat or even way off to the side of your mat, left hand to sacrum, twisting lunge. Just feel for grounding the sacrum towards the back foot, making a little space between that pelvic bone and your low spine. And send breath into that space. Feel free to close your eyes and use your breath to track the sensations in your hip. Half splits, Ardha Hanumanasana, hand down. Shift your hips back. Hands on blocks is a great idea if you have them. I'm not concerned with left leg straightening. You'll find your hamstrings before it straightens. Get breath into them. And whether the left foot is flexed or pressing down to the earth, you can experiment, see how that feels to you. Or if you're in shoes all day, relax your foot. Bend the left knee. Inhale. This time we'll all step the right foot forward and fold over legs. Inhale, half lift. Hands can press against your shins or your thighs. As you lengthen the spine out, breathe into the back ribs. Exhale, fold into your legs. Half lift. Inhale. This time, slide your hands all the way up the fronts of your legs to your hips. And exhale, massage your hands down the backs of your legs. One more like that. Inhale, half lift. Hands feel up the fronts of the legs. Long spine. Exhale, down the backs and sides. Maybe draw yourself in. Knees can soften. Find your way up to standing, either just like that, use your hands, or you can roll yourself up. Let's do some shoulder rolls. Standing in Tadasana. No, first let's go into Goddess. Stand with your feet 3 feet apart, your toes angled out, maybe 45 degrees. Bring your arms out on diagonals. Breathe into the back of your rib cage, so the low back and the space between your shoulder blades fills with breath. Exhale, bend your knees, draw your elbows towards each other, massage the shoulder blades into your back. Good. Inhale, open, 5-pointed star. Exhale, draw everything in towards your tail, including your belly. 2 more breaths like that. Inhale. And exhale, sliding the shoulder blades towards each other down your spine. Inhale, push the earth away. Exhale, draw it in. Relax your arms, straighten your legs. Walk the feet into Tadasana. Let's do some shoulder rolls. Inhale the shoulders up. Exhale, back and down. Go maybe 3 times in that direction and a couple times in the other direction. It can be much more free form than that. If your body's calling for some extra breath and massage like movement of these bones. All right, I'm gonna relax your shoulders down. Let's try this, rolling shoulders back, but one at a time. So dancing it out. If your hips want to dance too, let them. They don't have to be stiff. Roll the shoulders forward. And relax. All right, this one's to mess with your brain a little bit. Inhale, shoulders up to ears. Listen, see if you can roll the right shoulder back, the left shoulder forward. Bring them down. And then keep moving the left shoulder back, the right forward to bring them back up. If you start thinking about it, your shoulder won't get it. So you just have to feel and breathe. All right, let's move with shoulders up to ears and see if we can reverse. Inhale. What was the reverse? Exhale, left shoulder back, right shoulder forward. Circle down and around. And if you feel sometimes tension move out of the shoulders, feels like it's building in your jaw, sigh it or moan it out, let it move out. All right. Some of you will continue to try to figure that out. If it's not good for you to have arms up, and ultimately, maybe we'll let the arms go. But we'll start like this. So similar motion, arms up. Take a breath into the back body, lengthen back of spine up. Exhale, right arm forward, left arm back. Then the arms come down to brush your legs, and the right arm keeps moving back, the left arm forward. Cool. Trace that circle one more time, each direction. Right arm forward, left arm back. And maybe you keep moving like that, nice and smooth and slow. Or you can pretend you're holding really heavy buckets in your hands. So you start to move the right forward and the left back, and they're so heavy that they have to drop and come around. Any shoulder, neck injury, you might not want to let momentum and gravity take over. Again, if that's squeaky for shoulders too, go back to the shoulder rolls. Same motion without the arms. We'll meet in center, those of you guys doing the empty buckets. Inhale, lengthen back ribs up, back of spine up. Exhale, left arm forward, right arm back. The hands keep coming down to brush your thighs. Then the right comes forward, left goes back. Trace that circle out. And then if you want to start to let the arms go, go for it. It might twist your spine a lot. That's fine. Pull your belly in to support your spine from the inside. Once you're satisfied with that, we'll go right into empty coat sleeve. Separate your feet a little wider. And just let your arms go swish, swish, side to side. Like your arms are coat sleeves, but they're empty and floppy. If it's a big movement, you can make little fists with your hands and give yourself love taps. All right, find your way back to center. Slow that down. Windmilling triangle. If you have 2 blocks or even 1 block, you might want them in front of you. Feet, again, 3 feet apart. This time the toes stay pointing straight ahead, feet parallel to each other. With hands on your hips, inhale, lengthen your spine, shoulders back. Bend your knees as much as you need as you bring hands down to blocks or earth. First couple breaths, if you want to simply bend a knee at a time or stay in forward fold to get breath into the hamstrings, go for it. You can dangle your head or you can stay in flat back. Both work. Then we'll meet in a flat back, hands on blocks or on your fingertips on the earth. Inhale into the back bottom ribs. Relax your low belly. Exhale, pull your low abdominals in. We'll keep the optimal breath going. Inhale, back bottom ribs. Turn your chest to the right, right hand up. Exhale, hand down, pull your belly in. Inhale, fill the back bottom ribs, twist left, left arm rises. Exhale, pull low belly in, center. Go to each side 1 or 2 more times. When you feel complete, you can either return to forward fold or find your way up to standing. All right, forward folds, bring your hands to your waist or onto your thighs and Feel free to bend your knees to roll yourself up to standing. Pyramid variation. If you like, turn to the head of your mat, and you might want to put your 2 blocks down, like on the sides of your feet or slightly forward. You may or may not use them. Step your left foot back like 2.5 feet. Pyramid footprint. Left toes are angled out about 45 degrees, right toes pointing straight ahead. Press the pinky blade of the left foot down. Feel for peeling up the left arch. And then lift and spread the toes of the right foot. Feel for pressing the big toe mound of right foot forward. Stabilize your base. Hands on hips. Start to draw the right hip back and lean forward. If you want to step left foot out to the side, that feels better to low back, go for it. Pull your belly in. Just come as far as you can go straight spine and feel your hamstrings start squawking. If they're squawking, back out. Come to where they're just talking. All right, keep your feet active. Pinky blade of left foot pressing down, big toe mound of right foot coming down. Micro bend the right knee. Bring your hands to your right thigh, close to hip. Inhale to the low back ribs. Exhale, pull your belly in as you press your hands into your thigh and lengthen spine. And you can stay right here, drawing your right hip back, breathing into the back of the right leg, or you can start to walk down. Now, there's no goal for this pose. I have a body that can flop down, but I get breath into my upper hamstrings if I'm up here. If you're low enough that you want to put hands on blocks, be my guest. Good. One more breath. Breathe the back ribs out. Re-lengthen the back of the spine. Bend your right knee. Push your feet into the earth. Tuck your tail to pull you up. We'll change sides. Step your right foot back. Toes angled out 45 degrees. Activate your feet. Pinky blade of right foot down. Mound of left big toe reaching forward. Hands to hips. Peel your left hip back as you lean forward. Pull your belly in. Keep sending breath into the back. And once you find out where your hamstrings are, maybe then you micro bend left knee or a lot of bend if you're working with really tight hamstrings. Press palms into the thigh. Breathe into the back low ribs. Exhale, navel to spine. Sending breath into sensation. You can modify the shape to explore sensation, but there's nothing to chase, nowhere to go here. All right, bend your left knee a lot. Push your feet down to bring your spine back up. Send your tail down to seesaw yourself up. All right, one more standing piece. Now let's come down to sitting. We'll sit. Square pose. From your cross-legged seat right in front of left, move your right foot or move your feet forward a bit so they're aligned with your knees, and then walk your feet out to the side. So you have a little more cross at the shins than the ankles, different part of the hip. Optional if your hips are open for it, right ankle might stack on the left knee. If your knee's up, feel free to prop it. Walk left fingertips out to the side, directly from your hip, 18 inches. Inhale, right arm to sky. Exhale, left palm down. Draw your left elbow in towards your ribs as you reach to the right. Hang your head to the left. Now lower your right palm down towards the earth on your right side, somewhere 12 inches off the earth. You'll feel for a sweet stretch in right side neck. You can experiment with the angle of your arm or even turn the angle of your chin until you find a sensation that with your exhale breath, Feels like it's starting to organically unwind. So sometimes simply hanging the head will feel like it creates more tension because your neck's working not to let your head fall off. Just come into a place where there's a sense of stretch. But then also a sense of movement. All right. Now look down at your left hand. Bring your right hand down near your left hand. So you're twisted and bowed over left leg. Let your head go. Some of you roll all the way down to elbows, and their breath is going into right hip. Either pin the right sitting bone down, pull your belly in. That feels like in right hip. Or for some bodies, it's effective to actually lean onto the left hip. So the right sit bone starts to rise. Draw the right sitting bone back. Lift up just enough you can walk your hands forward over your two shins. Hands on ground or blocks. Maybe either just release the neck. Exhaling towards a fold. See if you can ease the shoulders away from neck. And that organic rate of release. Don't pull back suddenly. Space for breath. Keep your neck relaxed. Pull your belly in. Use your hands to help you up to your seat. And change the cross of your legs. Either left shin in front of right, or stack the left shin on the right. Walk your right fingertips 18 inches out from your hips. Stay on your fingertips for a moment as you reach left arm up to sky. Lengthen both sides of the rib cage. And exhale, lean down on the right hand. You can pull the ground toward you to keep right arm long, right ribs long. You can choose to keep your arm here if you want, or lower left palm down into neck release shape. Palm hovering 12 inches off the earth. Feeling for that sweet spot in left side neck, shoulder and jaw that your breath can weave into. Look over at your right hand. Bring your left hand across to the right. And simply releasing the neck, you might feel reverberate all the way down into your hip. Again, you can experiment with leaning off the left hip and drawing it back, or plugging your sit bone down, belly to spine. Staying on locked out elbows or lowering your elbows. Take a really slow breath. Feel it make its way all the way down into left hip. And walk your hands forward so you can bow over both your legs. Keep your neck relaxed. Ease your shoulders back. Plug back with your tailbone to pull your spine up. Unwind onto your back. We did not take the time to go upside down in our practice today. So if you would like to set your Shavasana up with your legs up on something, wall, bed, chair, maybe both sweet for the low back, since we wrung the legs out a little bit. Energetically restorative. So take a moment upside down. If you would like to continue to rest in your space for a bit longer, give yourself permission to stay. If you're transitioning out, start by deepening your breath. Maybe hug the knees in, ease off to your side to press your way up to sitting. May we benefit from our practice. Our practice benefit not only us, may all beings in all the world know peace, be happy, healthy, safe. Namaste.